Hi, welcome to Daddy Kerb's Farm. I got a special treat for you today. About a month or so ago, I was looking for a way to utilize my excess of hot peppers. We don't cook with a lot of hot peppers, so I had a lot of peppers left over. I wanted to make this fermented hot sauce, so I looked online and I found some recipes. I found some of the things that were the same in the recipes and I modified it a little bit to make my own. For my hot sauce, I'm using half a pound of hot peppers. This is mixed hot peppers. It's got the long chilies, the peri-peris, some of our native wild chili patines, and a couple of dried up jalapeños. Also, I have sweet peppers. I didn't have sweet peppers in my garden, not too much this year, so I ended up buying some sweet peppers from the store, and these are just like mini bells. Also, we have some garlic. Should be about 4 cloves. This is a little more. It doesn't have to be exact. And then organic sugar, 1/4 cup, and a couple teaspoons of salt. The fermented hot sauce goes through several stages before it actually becomes hot sauce. First, you just need to mix the ingredients and prepare them to be put on a shelf to ferment. But let me show you how to mix them. I have a blender here that has variable speeds because we're going to use the low speeds. So we're going to put our hot peppers, and we're not going to blend them up to a slurry. We're just going to sort of mix and chop them. Then we're going to add our sweet peppers and a little bit of water to help them mix. We're going to put this on low speed. We're going to use our plunger to get it mixed in there good. Like I said, we're not interested in making soup. We're just getting it mixed up. I'm going to put my garlic, sugar, and salt, and a little more water, and still on low speed. We're going to continue mixing. Now that we have a nice mash of all of the ingredients together, I'm going to pour them back into a bowl. That way I can stir it, mix it, and ladle it out. I'm using a wide mouth canning jar, quart-sized canning jar. Just makes it easier to get into. For this amount of hot pepper mash, I decided 3 jars is a good number of jars because on the first batch I used only 2 and the peppers swelled up and overflowed a little bit. We're going to try to fill 3 jars evenly or close to even with this hot pepper mash. Now that I have the mash in the jars, I'm going to put just a little extra water to put it about 3/4 of the way full on each jar. Now the jars need to be covered but not closed up. On the first round I used a piece of cloth and I just tied it with some twine. On this time I'm going to experiment with using nylon stockings. That way I don't have to put twine around it or a rubber band. Now we'll take these into the pantry and I'll show you how I'm going to get ready for the next step. Place your jars in the pantry out of the way, and we're going to let them sit for 2 days before we stir them. Here we are 13 days later. That's a few days later than I intended, but I think it's okay. The peppers are fermented and I'm ready to take the final steps to turn this into fermented hot sauce. First of all, we're going to take the peppers that we've worked so hard and been so patient for and put them back in the blender. We don't want to overblend at this point because we can destroy the bacteria that we've been so patient to allow colonize and ferment our peppers. So we're just going to put it on low speed and give it a blend. Now with your peppers all blended together, woo, that's some potent stuff. Smells great. We're going to strain through this strainer here. You can use just cheesecloth or whatever straining equipment you decide you need to use. Using the plastic plunger that comes with the Vitamix, we're just going to encourage this liquid to fall through that strainer. Now that we've concentrated this down to just a mash in the bottom of the filter and we have our strained liquids, I'm actually just going to set this aside on the ground because I'm going to give this mash to the chickens as a fermented treat. Some people will save it and put it in their dishes like their cornbread, things like that, but I'm just going to give it to the chickens. Okay, now we got our nicely strained, I had to smell it, we got our strained liquid. And it looks like hot sauce. This could be as far as you go if that's what you want, but I like to take the extra step to put some homemade apple cider vinegar in here. That's going to help stop the fermentation process. And 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. The xanthan gum is going to help thicken it up so that it's not super runny. If you like runny hot sauce, by all means, leave out the xanthan gum, but I like mine a little thicker, kind of like a sriracha sauce. So there we go with 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. And we're just going to do this again on low speed. And there you have it. That's your fermented hot sauce. Now this could be a little thicker. If I wanted it thicker, I could put a little more xanthan gum, but it doesn't need to be. It's actually a beautiful sauce right now. And there, you did it. You made fermented hot sauce. Take this to the table with pride. Put it on your tacos, put it on your eggs, whatever you like your hot sauce on, and be proud that you made that yourself. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode of Daddy Curb's Farm. I appreciate you hanging out with me always. If you could like the video and share in the comments below whether you've made this before, maybe your recipe, or if you dare to try this with my recipe, following along at daddycurbs.com, let me know in the comments below and we'll share that with the world. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.